Hello and welcome back to the Migraine Diaries, a periodic account of the making of my game Scotoma and the reason why I filled in my basement with cement. The howling noises got to be a bit too much. Well, it's been a long time since I last did one of these, and while I'm not going back to a weekly schedule, to be honest, they ended up taking up too much time, and by the end it was time that would be better spent working on the game. I will be doing them periodically. If nothing else, I like the idea of having a full record of the game's progress from beginning to end. You never know, it might help someone someday. So all that time away, what did I do with it? Well, you know, I changed jobs, I scored a short film, I'm writing a short story at the moment. I did the February album writing month, where you make an album in the month of February, 28 days. I've been trying to get established on freelancer platforms. I've been doing a collaborative hip-hop project called Theft. I worked on a game called Dungeon Crawl, which is well worth a go. Take a look at that. And attempted to live a life in between all of that with sort of all the requisite trials that life tends to throw your way. But what the hell's been happening with the game itself? Well, after a shitload of flowcharting, yeah, fucking flowcharts again, in order to illustrate the systems I have in mind for the benefit of the programmer, it's now close to being fully implemented. We still basically have a bunch of sort of systems floating around in limbo, but that will soon be connected to a proper 3D environment, and then we will have something to assess, because I've written the sort of puzzles that I'd like to do just as an example of the the different aspects of how the systems interact. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time building a solid foundation for the game, in this case the aforementioned systems that will underpin the discovery of the narrative and the puzzles themselves. And it took an incredibly long time spent on paper to actually settle on them. In fact, I went round in circles for literally months. I was stuck on resolving a particular problem. And inspiration didn't come till one day when I was enjoying a cigarette outside, and my cat, Charlie Kelly, decided to gnaw on my leg, and I had a eureka moment. I cut the cigarette short and marched inside with a wound up cat under my arm, in search of something to scribble notes down on. I mean, it's not even certain that these systems will add up to something enjoyable to play, but I'm going to find out soon. And once I have some definite mechanics that work, I would like to break them down here rather than just have to be so vague about it. On the other hand, you know, detailing your game design before your game's actually fully completed may not be a good idea, so we'll see about that. And this particular prototype has an awful lot of text in it, and that really has been one of the biggest tasks in getting things ready to go for the programmer. I mean, the idea is to provide so much information that players have to adopt a quicker, cleverer way of locating what it is they need from what's there. And it's included sort of email chains, diary entries, sort of filed corporate reports, newspaper articles, even Christmas cards. And I've tried pretty hard to reflect the sort of cast of characters in the way they write, even to the point of using incorrect spelling and punctuation. I think grammar is going to be one of the main ways I try and reflect what sort of people they are. And all of this content has led me to make sort of vast spreadsheets to keep track of when each sort of small event happens, so I can keep it in line with the more macroscopic view of events that I already have. Talk about making life hard for myself, but it's all necessary. Now, I've also been going back and forth with some concept artists, though I won't say who for now. I've got some pretty strong visual ideas in mind for the in-game creatures you encounter, but input from others, I feel is crucial. You don't just want to be one of those sort of control freak dictators who tries to do absolutely everything themselves. Because even if you're overseeing a project, it doesn't do to think other people couldn't come up with ideas that are better than yours. There is one particularly important encounter. There is one particularly important encounter in the game that I would love to base on a particular piece of work I've seen. And I'm hoping to get into a dialogue with this particular artist because it's an extraordinary piece of work. Once again, I'd love to show what that is, but that really would blow the lid on something important. But believe me, it's fucking weird. So now, it's time to implement the puzzles. We're drawing near to proper proof of concept time. The crunch. Wish me luck, and as Charlie Brooker says, or once said, go away.